Welcome to the Mojave Desert in California. We're looking for a over 100-year-old schoolhouse, some mining history, and a large section of Route 66 that was forgotten in the desert. And what we found was a lot more than what we expected, as this area also housed a tremendous amount of military for training during World War II. And we're going to get into it.
Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. We have found our way to Goffs, California, Ghost Town, and Outdoor Museum. Amazing find here. A lot of old gas pumps, a lot of old mining equipment, a lot of old windmills, and a little bit of Route 66 history, as you're going to see the road, deteriorated road, that cut through the desert.
Now, getting to Goffs, we turned right off of US 95, the old Veterans Memorial Highway. And it was about 14 miles off. We took the county road 66 for old Route 66 to get here. And we found this abandoned style home slash store, I guess, out in the middle of nowhere, right next to the tracks. And it had this old building right here that was burnt to the ground.
There was obviously a building here and a fire. A lot of nails. And an old building off in the distance, some foundations. I'm just taking a look at what's going on around in here because just want to kind of look at everything. I heard this town only had a couple people in it. We're going to see when we get closer. There's quite a few buildings. You can see this had flooring in it, like red tile. There's different color tiles in here. Pretty good sized building, all burnt down. So here's the old outbuilding that was out here. The building's really old, but there's a bunch of appliances in it. They're just stored in there. I just find this fascinating to see these buildings just out in the middle of nowhere. There was a building here, again it burnt down. And then somebody just used this old building that was in town. Probably here since the mining days, when the town existed. They just filled it full of garbage. At one time, somebody's family vacation unit. Now just an old motorhome laying in the middle of a ghost town. Hey, nice flooring.
All right, so let's check out Goffs. Now, Goffs is located on the 1926 to 1931 alignment of Route 66. And it has this over 100-year-old schoolhouse that you're looking at right there. Now, there's plenty of history with this schoolhouse. Not only was it a schoolhouse originally, but then Goffs kind of had some problems and it kind of burnt down, had a fire, lost some buildings. And this actually turned into one of the command centers for the training center for World War II. There was a tremendous amount of troops that were trained out here, and again, mostly for support, but also there was a lot of infantry troops and combat troops that were trained in this area as well. And you'll see some reference to it right here. They've got a World War II style mannequin standing right off in the corner, and I found fascinating the old school desks. Now, these holes in the top of the desks are ink wells where the kids used to dip their pens to be able to get the work done inside the school.
Now here's a toy that the kids played with at the school grounds that you don't see anymore. It would swivel around on the top and you hang on to those chains. Everybody swung around with their feet hanging out, hanging on to those. And there's a giant grasshopper right there. That is giant. Right, so here in Goffs, they said that most of this was burned down. And so a lot of this was placed here as part of historical. So they put it here to preserve the area. And there was a large military camp as well. A lot of people don't know that out here in the desert. A little bit of actual combat troops, but mostly support troops were in this area that trained during World War II.
Worry.
No, he's having a good time.
He's not going to bite.
Nope. They're friendly unless they're like provoked. Look at this beauty here. It's a Ford. right down on the rims, the wood rims. Model T with a question mark. See what this one is. 1928 Graham truck. Yeah, that tire looks like it's still holding air. Somebody told me that the rubber that you make the old tires out of was real rubber, and that you can still find an old rubber inner tube and they'll hold air. If the new rubber's not real, it doesn't hold air that well. But the old ones can still do it. I don't know if that's true. Just rumors I hear. Wooden steering wheel. The old gauges are still in there too. And on the back of the truck, all the things that people find in the desert, they put them on here. As you're walking around and you find it, railroad ties, old bottles, hubcaps. Now there's hardly anybody here, but this town is well preserved. There's a lot of fun mining, old mining pieces here. And we'll see if there's some old military pieces as well. The table's made out of old gears. Here's another one right here. 1921 Buick. Now it's nice to see that a lot of these have a sign in front of them that say what they are, and they're all numbered, so when you come out here and look at things, there's a book that you buy for just a couple dollars, and it donates and helps to take care of the area, and it tells you what each one of the numbers are and the location and about that piece. Now, one of the things about this area that people don't know as well is that this town actually is on Route 66. And you'll see in the distance there's a train going by right over there. And we're going to walk over there and you go through the bushes and you'll find the old Route 66 road and the pavement that's all broken up, and the line through the desert. You can see where Route 66 went. It's a part of Route 66 that's kind of forgotten. And we're going to go check that out and look for that pavement. Now this is a what they call a miner's cannon, and they say that this cannon would actually be kept at the mouth of the mines with the ore cars, and it would be rolled out on these tracks right here, and whenever the mine was threatened, they would have this cannon ready to go to ward off anybody who was trying to take over the mine, to threaten people that were trying to, of course, get into the mine and take whatever's ever there, or take the mine over. An old miner's cannon that lived inside the mines, by the mouth of the mines. Fascinating. Fascinating. There's the old stamp mill. Nevada Engineering Works, Reno, Nevada. Obviously those pistons would go up and down and crush the ore. See how heavy those are. Old stamp mill. And of course that's where the belt would turn that giant wheel and make those pistons go up and down. A lot of wood and iron. This is the old Gibson gyrator crusher. And that looks like at the top a bolt would drive that wheel. Then it was geared over there to make it go from turning vertically to horizontally. Turn that around and make that spin right in there. And then whatever product or whatever they were working on material would come right through that gate. There you go, there's an original outhouse from the Chase Baghdad mine. Right there. Well preserved. And a well-used wooden seat. A lot of Route 66 reference. They put these signs up as you're walking down into town. So I know on Route 66 they used to put a tremendous amount of Burma shave signs. Look at this. Baker Iron Works, Los Angeles, California. Warning, this machine may start at any time. That would be awesome. Waiting for that. So that's an old, well, that's a crusher as well. You can see it's built just like the one we just saw with the wheel and the pistons up there. And all of the machinery that goes along with it. Man, back in the day somebody had to make all that. Come up with all these ideas to put that together. Can't believe this is old stamp mill still standing here. If they put this all back together, if they did, that was a lot of work. The old truck there says tire and retread, Tulsa, right on the side. And what is this? Hey, it's a Chevrolet. The glass in the headlights is still good. Wow, look at the size of this. Now from the looks of this, I didn't ask and I should have, but the other one as well, these are hooked up. And I think what they do is they still operate these for demonstrations. You see the belts are in really good condition. And it shows exactly how milling used to work. So they've built this here. And they've got all new metal where all the material comes out. And new cables run into these ore cars. So they give a example of how they run and operate this stamp mill. Old gas pumps, a couple different ways. Roar with Gilmore. And that looks like an old gas pump or oil can that they pumped it out of as well. I've seen some old gas pumps where they pumped out of barrels. That could be similar as a storage container. Automobile Club, Southern California, AAA. It looks a little bit like Tow Mater. He lost his hood right there. No idea what year or model that is. A little tow truck. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, let me know. Sometimes they're so beat up and missing so many parts, I have no idea what I'm looking at for sure. Let me know. Let's see what kind of a deal gas was. I like this one better. It's all zeros. That's what I need, is all zeros. Now, I rode to school on a school bus once in a while, but it was a little better shape than this one. This one's been, well, I think it's been shot just a few times. And a few stickers too. Crazy. I mean, if a person had to guess, I wonder how many bullet holes were in this. The old Mojave road bus. Well, maybe it wasn't a school bus. Maybe it was just a road bus, but it looks like an old school bus to me. I wonder how old that is. If anybody knows, let me know what year that old bus is.
Now that old road bus was found in Needles, just off Route 66, abandoned. Speaking of Route 66.
So this is actually original Route 66. You can see there's kind of a line through the desert, and off to the left you'll see little piles of pavement like this that are all broken up, and those are pieces of pavement from Route 66. So it's actually all over under my feet, little pieces of blacktop like that, and on both sides of the road. So right over here there's another piece of it, and you'll see here how it goes right through the desert there. You'll see that trail right there, original Route 66, and more pavement. So all the way you walk along here, you're just walking on old broken up pavement, and that went right through the town of Goffs. And here's a really good example of that. So here it's right in the middle of the road as well, the pavement that's all broke up, walking on original Route 66 through the California desert in Goffs. Amazing history, because when you look at it, how would you even know it was out here?
Now, we love Route 66 history because we're all about the road trip, and so was Route 66. So it was fascinating to stand right here on the road and see it all crumble below your feet, running through the desert. Now, Goffs has no shortage of things to see and a tremendous amount of history. And we love this old town right here on Route 66. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.